Hey everybody, it's Edmond Vanderbilt with another episode of Once Around the Block. I'm here with the one, the only.
Salut mes amis, c'est Clinton Yates.
What's up?
You know who it is.
How you doing, Clinton?
I'm very well, Edmond. Et toi?
Very well.
I'm not going to speak the whole episode en français,
Okay.
but I got to start that way, all right?
All right. Where are we? Where are we, buddy?
We are on 8th Street Northeast. This is 8th Street and 8th. All right? Those of you might know this from where the riots hit the hardest in D.C. in the 60s after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, up on 7th and U Street by Howard University is where they tore a lot of shit down. This corridor is one of those as well, and what you're seeing now with all these buildings is what we've come up that. It took 30 years. Bleep that out. But
No, you can swear. Go ahead.
it took a while, and this is what we're looking at now. So you see this right here, Avec. Very interesting name for
Yes.
something that's involved in what it is in terms of the development of the city. But this is where I live. It's the neighborhood I'm in, and I like it a lot. You know, it is what it is in terms of the rawness of the city. That's the streetcar going by, a urban development that not a lot of people think was very smart, including I. When I was a columnist for the Washington Post, I said this is a debacle. They got to get rid of it. But now that I live here, I use it just enough. And so I've ate my words a little bit on that, but it's still a bit of a problem for various reasons. But, you know, this is what you deal with when you're trying to develop a city.
I think especially in the beginning, it was like, it wasn't working very well, but is it working a little bit better?
You know what it is that if I want to get too far into the details, if you live on 8th Street, you don't necessarily spend a lot of time going up and down the street.
Right,
you go
right.
across. So when you're trying to get from one end to the other, it works. But it's not a general transportation piece that I use for anything, frankly, to go to anything other than like the grocery store. That's what I use it for. It's helpful when I got a lot of bags.
Yes. Is it a fun neighborhood?
It is a fun neighborhood for a couple of different reasons. Number one, there's a lot of bars, and if you like that, that works. But for example, the street I live on, when I go from my apartment to the metro to get to work, I pass a women's shelter, which I appreciate in terms of who I get to interact with. You say hello to the ladies all the time, a rec center, and 2 elementary schools. You know, so I get a little bit of a feel for a real neighborhood that isn't just where people drink.
Right.
It isn't just where people work out,
Right.
for lack of a better term. So that equals fun to me. Whatever it is to you, I don't know, but that works for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So you dig the neighborhood?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What else should we talk about?
Whatever you want, man. I know. In case you guys don't know, we used to play Little League baseball together.
Yes.
He was known as the Flying Dutchman
Thank you.
back then.
Thank
So
you.
he played center field. Pretty good ball player. I'm just saying. You don't know that. Now you know.
Damn, it's funny because I never get the props from baseball. You know.
Come on. I don't know. Man.
All right. Also, we played high school soccer, which
Correct.
You were the fastest man I've ever seen in my entire
I
life.
tried, but Edmond was one of the more skilled players we knew. And, you know, that's how it goes. I learned how to play soccer after. You want to cross here? Let's check out Ben. So we talked about the riots before. Ben's Chili Bowl on U Street is one of the most famous places in all of DC. You might know it from when Obama went in there when he first got elected. This is the latest outpost on 8th Street. The Ali family, who started Ben's, they kept it open during the riots. That was a very important part of their legacy to DC. They basically are royalty in this city. They also happen to be good friends with Bill Cosby, which was very awkward because they used to have his mural on the wall. It took them a while to take it down. I was one of those people that said, hey guys, your family is better than what Bill represents. Eventually they did it, but you know, I got mad love for the Ali family. Ben's Chili Bowl is an institution in DC. And this is it's the second, it's not the second one, it's the second brick and mortar. It might be the third brick and mortar, but they've expanded in recent years.
Right,
you know where
right,
Ben's
right.
is. You know
Totally,
what I mean? But
totally.
This is the other one. It's a good spot.
I'm really impressed and like appreciative of all the knowledge you're dropping. It's
man, you know,
it's
that's what I do,
useful
man.
stuff.
C'est moi.
So that's my next question.
Yeah.
What is it for everybody who doesn't know? What is it that you do?
I'm a sports writer. I am an on-air personality for ESPN. If you don't know that, if you're somewhere across the globe where you don't get that network, it is basically the biggest global sports channel in the world. You know, they do everything regarding sports. I write for ESPN, I do radio for ESPN, I also do television for ESPN. So if you're sweating my camera presence, you know why.
You know
it's
why.
my actual job. I'm messing around, but no, it's been fun, you know, and Ed's known me for a while. Sports has been a big part of what I've been about forever. You know, and not just in terms of playing, in terms of who I feel I am as a fan. DC is a big part of that. You know, we talked about Little League before. You know, baseball is a big part of who I am. I love baseball. It's what I like as a game to play. It's what I like as a culture. Footy is another thing. You know, for those of you who don't know, you know, we went to the same school where the international social currency was soccer.
Right, exactly.
You know, everybody roots for their home nation. It's what brings everybody together. International soccer tournaments, it's what everybody does. We got a World Cup coming up this summer. I'm pretty pumped about that. So my point is overall, would I consider myself to be a global citizen? Absolutely. But I consider myself to be an even more global sports citizen, even more so. And so I try to bring that to everything I represent in terms of what I write about, in terms of what I talk about, in terms of what I be about, for lack of a better term.
Totally.
So it's important to me.
Speaking about what you're about, you've always had a really strong t-shirt game and a very strong sneaks game.
Thank you.
And maybe you're not wearing a t-shirt right now, but I did notice you wore some pretty fly kicks.
I appreciate that. You want to check them out?
Yeah.
I got these at Major in Georgetown. You know where that is.
Yeah.
And shout to my man Ducky, one of the most influential guys in the game. You should just talk to him sometime.
Okay.
To me.
So that's the place to go for sneaks.
Yeah, sure.
In the whole city, that's the place.
Yo,
yeah?
Every single time. Major, Wisconsin Avenue.
Awesome.
For me, it's about the concept of streetwear. You know, when we grew up, skateboarding, graffiti, that was all part of what we did.
Yeah.
Just as sort of a basic matter. That was not, I mean, it was subculture in the larger context, but for us, it was just a part of our basic influence. You talk about art classes, you talk about what people wore just in general. That's who we were. And now it's become a far more mainstream thing. It's easier to get the stuff we couldn't afford when we were in high school.
Right.
It's easier to sort of be an influencer. It's easier to represent what it is that I think makes the most sense for me.
Right.
You know, and that's why, I mean, look, I don't wear suits on TV.
Yeah.
I wear suits to weddings and funerals. You know, because that's just how I represent myself, and that's what I choose to do. Not because I think I'm cool, not because I'm trying to be counterculture, because I'm representing the culture I exist in. Right. You know, were suits a part of our lives? Not really. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't really how I rolled, and I don't choose to lie about who I am. And so I knew if I was going to make it being a personality, I had to be my actual self.
Man, that must be really tough.
It's tough in one sense. If it doesn't work, it's easy to feel that who you are doesn't matter. But if it does, what's the word I'm looking for? It's you feel much more validated in terms of everything you knew growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got a Vans hat on right now.
Right.
You know, Vans, I happen to not be wearing it. You come here one day a week, I'm not wearing a pair of Vans.
That's
true.
You know,
and that's rare, you know, simply because that's the shoe that I like, it's a brand that I like, and what they represent is dope. But I do what feels right, and it's worked, I think, because I've stuck with it. And I just try to make sure that other kids and other people know that. You know what I mean? You can be yourself and make it happen.
That's amazing.
That's hard to stick with.
So we've come around full circle.
Yeah.
I have the words of wisdom, the wow moment. I think you just dropped some nice things,
Yeah.
but if you have anything else you'd like to say before we sign off.
Be yourself. You know why? Because nobody else can do that except for you. It works.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.